for further analysis here on the studio on the situation. We're joined now by Global Affairs analyst Marco Vicenzino. Hello again, Marco. Sarah there with a bunch of yes people. I mean, a lot of people in Greece still very unhappy about the plans being formulated right now by Alexis Tsipras.
Tsipras, it seems that he's actually submitting to what he said he wouldn't, which is it's the austerity measures, basically. Increase in VAT. He's going to make changes to the public pensions as demanded by the creditors. But yet in last Sunday's referendum, he said these were moves that he wouldn't make. So basically, although he came on top during the, for the referendum, it seems to be that he's actually submitting to the creditors' demands because he understands that they're actually serious. And that's actually, it's already causing a break in his party. The left faction, which is they don't want to submit to the plan and they don't want to vote in favor. 2 weeks ago before the referendum, one of the reasons why the referendum was being held is because he actually wanted to abdicate this decision to the Greek voter. The Greek voter came. They made their decision, the 61%, although I think personally was flawed. But the important part is that he's actually submitting to the concessions he said he wouldn't. And the move from 2 weeks ago is that his party would have imploded, and it seems like his party is imploding now. So
this package that he's about to put to the Eurozone, it doesn't differ in any great complexion to the package that he produced 2 weeks ago.
A matter of degrees. Right. It's not really, it's nothing groundbreaking to be able to claim victory, although he'll try to spin it in that way. So in this sense, is what would have happened 2 weeks ago had the decision been made by his party in Parliament to back the demands of the creditors. It's as if two weeks have been suspended in animation. In between, he had a referendum, which was a big ego boost, but now he's back to the same point, and his party is dividing according to lines of the hard left faction not wanting to submit. He himself wanting to stay in power, wanting his government to stay intact, and not wanting his party to break. He's probably going to may have to rely on votes from outside his party.
And Angela Merkel saying again today that there is absolutely no chance of any kind of write-off, and that comes with the backdrop, and we've discussed this before, of the International Monetary Fund saying that yes, there perhaps should be, because there's absolutely no chance of Greece paying back any of this debt. I think that they were suggesting that at one point 58 billion euros should be written off completely, but that isn't going to go and happen, is it?
It won't happen at this very moment. What the creditors want, and specifically Chancellor Merkel and all the other countries of the Eurozone, what they want specifically is they want in writing, they want reforms to be implemented, passed in Parliament and implemented. Once they see these reforms being implemented and there's improvements with that, they're going to be guaranteed. They have the security and the guarantees that these reforms will take place. And then they'll talk about, they won't use the word write down, but they'll use more of the terminology where in effect they're actually having some form of debt cancellation. They themselves realize they can't, there's going to be some form of cancellation. Debt relief is necessary. It's unsustainable, the current situation in Greece. But before pouring more money into Greece, they want to make sure that the reforms are going to be done so they can justify to their voters eventually that progress is being made, that it's worth keeping them in the Eurozone.
One still has to remain loosely sympathetic to a lot of ordinary Greeks and the plight that they're under just now. But there is enough liquidity, enough cash in the banking system to last until Monday, I gather.
One is surprisingly, there is a bit, but obviously, just for the sake of most ordinary Greeks, the country is bankrupt. If the ECB doesn't pump more money into the system, the catastrophe is already setting in, but it'll be even more catastrophic to the point where it'll be everyone's cut off from cash supplies. Probably not even the 60 euros that are being allowed now may not even be taking place anymore. And in addition to that, you're already seeing shortages in the supermarkets. You're already seeing 90% of Greek businesses are small, medium-sized enterprises. A lot of the resources that they need, the supplies come from outside of Greece. And they can't purchase that because most outside suppliers are cutting off business with Greece as a result of the status quo. So they can't fill the supermarkets and they can't get the basic supplies. So you basically an entire society paralyzed and shutting down.
Marco Vicenzino, thank you very much indeed for that.